Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. This is going to be a follow-up on the video that I recently uploaded about conversations about race. Okay, in that video I was basically talking about the fact that we are tired of conversating about race, trying to convince others to look at our situation from clear eyes, from a clear point of view, from a fair point of view, and to understand that persecution is one of those things that weighs very heavy on your population, on your mental status, on your financial status, all of that, right? And so we were clearly talking about the conversations about race that have been going on for so very long that we are tired of having them with no change. So again, we're talking about the persecution of so-called black people. So-called black people. We were not talking about Irish people, not talking about Chinese people, Latino people, or any other people. We were talking about black people. For some reason, whenever you talk about black suffering at the hands of other people, everyone wants to talk about everyone else and they want to be included in that number. But when they want to talk about their issues, they want their platform all by themselves. But when it comes to black people, share your platform, share your resources, share your everything. Okay? Share everything. In other words, I can't talk about black issues because people want me to talk about all issues, because all issues matter, although everyone talks about their own issues. I'm talking about black issues today and the fact that we've had 400 years of oppression and persecution. Okay? So basically, I'm responding to a comment by one of my viewers by the name of Massey. I'm only going to put the the first name out there. I pinned Massey's comment to the top. Hello, Massey, if you're going to see this. Your comment stated that Obama had 8 years to help the black community. So what did he do for them? And my response was, Obama, we are talking about 400 years, not 8 years. Then I asked Massey to stay on topic, and then I stated that you must be white. And the response back was this. Massey says, redirecting, I am. And I know what it's like to be singled out because of my race, my culture, and religion. When I was growing up, I had loads of black friends in school. Some of my best mates were black, Indian, Chinese. The school I went to was really mixed race. Was a really mixed race school with Jamaicans, Africans, Irish, and Muslims. And he says, I am an old man now, but I'll tell you this, racists are from all walks of life. We were all subjected to it, but I choose who I associate with carefully. I've got no time for racism. Life is too short. Okay, so I'm not going to argue the point of racist coming from all walks of life, because it's a very tiring thing to try to convince people that racism is actually a system of oppression. And I don't know of any black people here in the U.S. that are oppressing other people's or other racial groups and keeping their foot on their necks. Okay, so we have two different understandings and definitions for racism, so I'm not going to even argue that point. But the point that I want to talk about in this video is the fact that this is why we are tired of the conversation. We are tired of having conversations about race when even those who say that they've had black friends or they've associated with black friends always redirect from the original topic or conversation to something else. And so in their redirection, I want to redirect the conversation to where it belongs. We were not talking about what Obama did for black people in his 8 years in office. This video was about conversations about race, not what someone has done for us, but what has been done to us. There's a big difference, a huge difference in talking about what someone has done for us versus what someone has done to us. And so even that statement alone about Obama, are we to believe that only a half black president should do anything for blacks? Because if I'm clear on this, there were many presidents before him. Why is the question, what have they done for black people? Why is it only the black president or the half black president was expected to do anything for us? Okay, so that statement alone clearly proves our point in that this country has been biased against us. If you, Massey, believes that only a half black president was expected to do something for us, you have just proven our point that every president before him wasn't expected to do a thing for us. And that is what we are talking about. When you have heads of state and heads of the country and political people in position and power who are not expected to do anything for black people, if they're not going to do anything, that means they are not going to address the issues that affect black people, which are the persecution of our people. So in this video, I was talking about the many heinous things that have happened to us at the hands of the ruling class, okay, for the past 400 years. And we were also talking about the fact that we are tired of talking about it, tired of trying to convince the ruling class that it is wrong, that it's hurtful, it's painful, and it's terrible. We are tired of trying to convince you all that you have to let this thing go, okay? We are tired of trying to convince you that hanging whole families from trees is a wicked and sinful thing to do. Why should we have to convince adults that shooting a 12-year-old boy with a toy gun is a heinous crime to commit? Why do we have to continue to say, please remove the dagger from my back? Why do we have to say, look, hands up, don't shoot? Why do we have to say constantly, no justice, no peace? Why do we have to chant, ooh, I can't breathe? Why do we have to do this stuff? Why do we have to say Black Lives Matter and then you all throw it back at us? No, all lives matter. When you all know good and well what we're trying to say, we're not trying to say no other lives matter but black lives. It should have been Black Lives Matter too, so maybe that you all can understand your English language better, okay? Because to say Black Lives Matter, we very clearly meant that because you all have proven for the past 400 years that our lives don't matter to you, this is why they called it Black Lives Matter, because they don't matter to you. But even with that, I don't feel that we need to convince you that our lives matter. If you don't believe that our lives matter, you have proven yet again the point that we've been saying over and over. And I'm talking to whoever the shoe fits. I'm not necessarily talking to Massey, the person who I'm responding to. Okay, you said that you're an old man. And so what I'm trying to say here is that we as a people don't need to have to convince to you all or prove to you all or explain to you all that your actions and your behavior towards us has been deplorable, abominable, wicked, detestable, and unforgettable. And if it's unforgettable, in my book, it's unforgivable. Especially since you refuse to repent. As a people, you all refuse to repent. It doesn't matter if you have black friends or Chinese friends, Irish, Muslim, and all of that, Africans, Jamaicans. None of that matters if you can't even put yourself in our shoes and you're comparing the suffering that black people have endured for 400 years to the suffering that you all have endured. Now, in another statement, you said that, I'll just read the statement. You said, right, redirecting, it's difficult to talk about 400 years of torture, Lots of different colors of people were tortured throughout history, unfairly treated, religiously persecuted. That's relevant today. The Britons were enslaved by the Romans over 400 years. Now, that's where I need to stop it right there. That's where I need to stop it right there. When you're talking about white people who dealt treacherously against other white people, that is a way of deflecting from the topic at hand. That is what we experience all of the time, deflection. Okay? The deflection is off the chain. This is because no one wants to face the music for what they have done to black people around this world. You want to try to say that the playing field is level, that the persecution is equal and all of that, because you cannot accept the truth. And so, again, this video is to address the fact that it was redirected to what Obama didn't do for the black community for 8 years, when even in the title, I was referencing 400 years. And so to ask what Obama did or didn't do for us in 8 years is totally irrelevant to this, because we were not talking about Obama, the half-black president. We were talking about what was done to us, not what was done for us. This wasn't a question about someone doing anything for us, but all of the heinous things that have been done to us. So let's learn how to stay on topic. That's the problem. So many people stray away from the topic. Now, I do understand that you can build a bridge from one topic to the next. That does happen. But to burn the bridge before it and totally derail the conversation and take it in a whole other direction, that is called deflection. And with that, I am out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.